Hey everybody, welcome back to the Boston Maker Soldering channel. We have a local repair, diagnosis and repair in from local Sammy, who had bought a refurbished PlayStation 4 recently, went home, plugged it in, and is only getting a software error. So we want to take a look at this guy. Looks like it's one of these nice white Destiny consoles. With, sort of matching controller. We want to take a quick look at this, see if we're dealing with a software problem, or perhaps if the hardware of the hard drive has failed. And we're going to do a quick little tutorial for hard drive formatting, which is also applicable to upgrades. So if you're going from a 500 gig to a 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, you can follow the same steps to fix it as you would to replace the drive with a new one. Now, first things first with this guy, it does look a little bit dirty, but it has not been opened before. Still have the Sony warranty stickers intact, at least. Not too many places are gonna, fake it by replacing those in the new one. So, first thing we want to get our eyes on the hard drive to figure out what's inside, whether it's a 500, 1 terabyte, or a 2 terabyte. And on the CUH-1215 housings, it's a little hard to see. Gotta actually get this out of the caddy to look at it. So looks like we have just the OEM Toshiba drive. These are usually one terabytes. What is this? It's 500 gig actually. I feel like the 500 gigs are usually the Hitachis. Alright, so it's a stock system, 500 gigs, to get our vibration damper back in there. Out it comes again. These guys can be a little frustrating. Okay. Definitely looks pretty clean from the top side. No sign of water in here. Now what Samuel had reported to us is that when he turns this on, the only thing he gets on his display is an instruction that he needs to insert a USB drive to reformat the system. And that's pretty consistent with consoles where somebody has abruptly unplugged it, or maybe you had a power outage in the middle of playing. It's really important with these systems to make sure that you actually turn it off properly. Don't just put it to sleep and unplug it. Turn it off fully and let the LED, the breathing LED on the machine, go off completely before they get unplugged. Or you'll have this kind of corruption and maybe lose all your saved data. So Samuel's drive looks super clean. Let's turn this on and see if we can format it. Let's see what kind of error message we get. Pen's nice and quiet. Hard drive's quiet. And it's already shut itself down, so it's probably going to power back up in safe mode. It's very good looking white gold. Okay, so here we go, auto booting to safe mode, which means you do need an OEM controller for these. One thing I'll point out to anybody buying aftermarket controllers on eBay, AliExpress, whatever, they are not going to allow you to always utilize the PS button in safe mode. So if you're doing a software repair on something, you must keep an original controller around. The aftermarket sometimes won't be recognized in safe mode. Okay, so here we go. Connect the USB storage device that contains an update file for reinstallation of 7.0 or later. So, creating an installation drive, thankfully, is very easy. It's not something that Sony has made straightforward simply by virtue of the fact that their website's a little bit difficult to navigate. So I'm going to plug in a drive that we already have set up. I'm also going to show you where to go in order to create one yourself. I'm going to go back to display capture. So first things first, we need to differentiate between an update file and a reinstallation file. So when you go to Sony's website, it is a little bit tricky. If you're searching for the file that's used to do what's called initializing the hard drive, oftentimes what you're going to find first is the update file. The update file is usually about 600 megabytes, and it is not going to format a hard drive. It's only there to upgrade you from an older system, such as 7.0 to 7.01. So if we want to find the Sony page that actually gives us an update file, as well as a reinstallation file, we have to go here specifically. This is PlayStation.com/en-get-help/PS4-system-software. This is the only page that's going to have both of these files listed, and this is what they look like. So, let's see. Get another window in here. So software update file. This is going to get us 7.0.2, I believe, is the latest as of today. If we take a look at this file, this is only half a gigabyte. It's a 448 megabyte file. It's only useful if you have a good drive and you, for whatever reason, want to do an update from safe mode, maybe because you don't have access to Wi-Fi at your current location. Our software reinstallation file, take a look at that. This is a full 1 gigabyte. So only this 1 gigabyte file is actually going to allow you to fix all software issues. Certainly not going to fix bad sectors on a hard drive. If you have bad hardware, you have bad hardware. But fixing corruption, you really need to download the reinstallation file, not the software update file. So it looks like downloading 7.02 is going to take a little bit of time. This console was last working on 7.0, so we just need to fix it with 7.0 or newer. So if I go to our drive, so this is our format drive that we keep handy by the desk. There's a very simple file structure that you need to follow in order to get the PS4 to recognize this as a repair file. First things first, your USB flash drive should always be formatted exFAT. If it's formatted to the wrong file system, the PS4 is not going to recognize it. After our main directory, we need to create one folder called PS4. There's going to be a single folder we create on the inside called Update. In that folder, we want to add one file. Now, one thing you'll notice when downloading an update versus a reinstallation file, they both have the same default name, ps4update.pub. So if I go back to our pending downloads, these are both being downloaded as the same name. To keep them straight, just keep in mind your update file is always going to be about half of a gigabyte, whereas the reinstallation is going to be a full gigabyte. So this file here from a couple weeks ago, I believe is 7.01. It's a 1 gigabyte file. So we're going to check this. We're going to go back to our PS4. Now you do need to have the micro USB connected. You're not going to be able to use safe mode with a wireless controller. Okay. So back to our system, connect a USB storage device, yada yada, 7.0 or later. We have a 7.01 flash drive. On our system, we're going to go to OK. And here we go, preparing to update system software. This process is nice and quick. I mean, whether you're using a hard drive or upgrading maybe to an SSD, once you've started the process, it's going to be less than 10 minutes. And the system's only going to reboot, I believe, twice. Now, one thing you'll notice, I try to keep these handy. 2 flash drives chained to each other. I keep my initialization drive, that's the reinstall, and I also keep an update file. That way I don't have to keep erasing one over the other. Now, it's important to try to differentiate between software corruption on a hard drive and a drive which is failing. One thing that I can tell you is very common on PS4 consoles of every generation. If you have a failing hard drive and the system itself seems sluggish, it's slow to install games from disk, it is slow browsing through the menus, reinstalling the system software can hide that problem temporarily, but what you'll notice within a few minutes of boot up is that it's still going to be sluggish. So if you try a reinstallation and it's still sluggish, then you're most likely looking at bad sectors on the drive and you want to physically replace the hard drive. cannot start PS4. So we're going to try this installation one more time before we move to another hard drive. And our 702 file is probably downloaded by now. So what I'm going to do real quick is just make sure we have the latest installation file. Plug our reinstall drive back into the computer. Okay. PS4 update. This is the 1 gigabyte file, which we just downloaded today. We're going to go into our PS4 update. I'm going to delete the old file. Paste our new reinstallation file. And we need to rename it because I have several downloads within Windows downloads folder, so it created this as update 3. Okay, so we're going to make sure we name this file PS4 update, no spaces, .pup. Eject our drive. And now that we have the very latest file, we'll go back to our PS4. So, connect DualShock 4 using USB cable. Connect USB storage device 7.0 or later. We've done that. 7.02 is connected. Now, if this installation fails, we're definitely going to blame the hard drive first. We have a couple new replacement Hitachi drives here, a 500 gig and a 1 terabyte to try out. Both of these drives have already been formatted and tested on other systems we have in the office, so we know that these two are both good drives. Okay, preparing to update system software. We are at 99%. And if we auto boot into safe mode, at that point, after trying twice, we're definitely going to give up on this drive. Okay. Yeah, display turn off. rebooting, so we're probably going to be back into safe mode with no progress. Yep, cannot start the PS4. So let's just turn this guy off real quick. Cancel. And real quick, we are just gonna let our LED indicator turn off, just as good habit. Breathing light off before we disconnect power. The consequence of which is, of course, corrupting your hard drive. So in this case, we're really just keeping good form. All right, our system is off. Power is off. Out comes our PS4 screw again. Now, Samuel's drive was a 500 gigabyte, so we're just going to go ahead and swap it for another 500 gig. We do have a terabyte here available too. Both of these are the HGST, the Hitachi drives. Not sure if there's a difference. Most of these OEM PlayStation drives have a pretty miserably small cache, like a 16 megabyte cache or a 24 megabyte cache, something like that. So trust me, when there's companies out there like Seagate selling their Fire CUDA drives for, you know, double the price of the OEM drive, it seems expensive, but they do perform better than the original Sony ones. So if you've got a 500 gig drive and you're thinking about upgrading to a terabyte, a 2 terabyte, whatever, and you're scared off by these you know, new on the market drives for $85, $90, they do have quite a bit of a performance boost over the drives that actually come in the PS4. Okay. Give Samuel his old one back. Okay, let's start this guy up again. This is a CUH-1215. CUH-1215A, the last of the original PS4s, the last of the fat ones. But it's when they actually switched. Not sure if you can see. They switched from the capacitive touch buttons into ones that actually click. So the disk drive and the power button are actual buttons. All right. So we're back to safe mode. Cannot start the PS4. Connect DualShock 4 using the USB cable. Now that's fine. We did format this drive on a different model PS4 recently. It was not in a CUH-1215 before, so it's pretty normal when you're swapping drives between different hardware models. for it not to accept the drive. And then you have to go format again. Okay, connect a storage device. 7.0 or later. We have our 7.02 installed. PS4 will be initialized. All user data will be deleted. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes. Initializing. Do not turn off PS4. Uncooperative overhead camera today. Preparing to update system software. Moving nice and fast here. Alright, and we've already moved past our point of no return with the last drive, so we're definitely going to call our original Toshiba drive faulty. We're actually in the software update screen. Okay, installing update file. Do not turn off the PS4 during installation. After the installation has completed, the PS4 will automatically restart. Now this is in a GameStop refurb box. I certainly don't want to trash on GameStop, not knowing the whole history of this device, but I guess I'll just say I'm not horribly surprised that a faulty drive made it through their quality control process. If it did. Not saying it did, but if it did, it wouldn't be the first time. Okay, we're up to almost 60% here. Definitely progressing at a normal speed. '83, '84, 85%. reboots normal. Okay, updating system storage, and breezes through to 100% real quick. And we should be in an operating system after the next reboot. We have PS4 logo, always good. All right, everything looks good. Should have controller sync. Yep. So Bluetooth is good. Now, we should also probably check out Samuel's controller as well. Make sure his cable has no issues. And his matching controller. Let's see. Not yet. Yeah, we have wired control and wireless, so good controller sync with his as well. Drive any longer. No PlayStation camera. Time and date. I think I still have the sync on the first controller. Yeah. Yeah, don't try to set these up with two controllers at once. Okay, so nice fast menu. We have system storage. 408 gigabytes available. Software update, we are running the latest firmware. And system is 7.02. Excellent. So it looks like we just had a faulty hard drive. Common enough issue on, certainly not new systems, but on refurbs. If the drive's been put through too many hundreds, thousands of hours, it's only a matter of time. So we get to call Sammy, tell him the good news, call Samuel, and just let him know it was a simple hard drive issue, swapped out, fixed, and ready to go. Thank you very much for watching.